وبركاته.
Assalamu alaikum. We would like to welcome you all. Today we have a new series of the World Muslim Community Council in Ramadan. Today we have Sheikh Noureddin Tawil. He is Imam and also Da'iyah for more than 30 years in Belgium, the chairman of the General Assembly of Muslims in Belgium, and the deputy of the Muslim centers in Brussels. And he is supervising the new Muslim center. Today he will talk to us about Islam in Belgium between present and past. Your Highness, the floor is yours.
ونستغفره ونستهديه ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله رحمة للعالمين أرسله. أما بعد أيها الإخوة والأخوات.
Dear brothers and sisters, you are welcome and may Allah accept all your good deeds. First, I would like to thank the World Muslim Community Council for their kind invitation and their attention for the Muslim communities wherever they are. Also, we would like to thank the United Arab Emirates for their interest about the Muslim communities. First, we will speak to give a small brief about Belgium. It is a small kingdom in the west north of Europe, around 313,000 square kilometers, where the population more than 11 population. The population they are Fleming, where they constitute around 55% of Belgium, and they are from the Frankfurt. They are German tribes that occupied Belgium in the 5th century, and they speak the Fleming language, which is similar to the Dutch language. Also, we have another people, Al-Walun, from Belgium, 33 Belgian, and they are tribes in Saint-Cyr who lived in the area during the French occupation, and they speak French. Also, now in Belgium, more than 1 million Muslims, they live there, approximately. For the Muslim centers, most of these Muslims, they are expats, immigrated from Muslim countries, especially from Morocco, Turkey, Albania, mainly, in addition to other nationalities. We speak about Islam between present and the past, and we are optimistic about the future. Of course, at that time, the Muslim centers in Belgium is one of the most important one in West Europe, and one of the advancements of in Europe. It was established late 50s, at the start of the 60s. It was first in a rent building in one of the neighborhoods, and in 1964, the Muslim people, they became to immigrate to Belgium after signing the agreement between the Morocco, Turkey, Italy, and other countries to bring more labor to work in Belgium. By the way, this year we celebrate 60 years for great numbers of Muslims to come to Belgium. In order to give an idea, according to what we lived, because I was born here, my father and also my uncles, they came in the 60s, especially in 1964, and they were the pioneers to come to Belgium, especially the big cities like Brussels, Hamburg, and other cities. Also, the areas where there is the mines like Hinks, Hustles, Charleroi, and the other cities. My father and uncle's grandfather, they came to the second biggest city, which is Antwerp. At that time, they were the first. There was no mosque. Also, the atmosphere in the 60s is different from now. At that time, even transportation was difficult to be reached. And when they arrived, they found only a few friends who can speak French or local Flamen language. They lived there, and his intention was to go back to Morocco. So his intention to work for a few years and after that return back. There was different attempts to return back, but unfortunately, when they have their kids born in Belgium and they got harmony, it will be difficult to go back to Morocco. At the 80s, my father tried to go back and we went with him, but we couldn't stay there because we got accustomed to the educational system here and the style of living in Belgium, which is easier at that. It was easier at that time. So at the beginning of the 60s, as I mentioned, there was no mosque, no Islamic centers. Also, even schools, even halal food not available. At the 60s, they did a great effort because they thought first to have a mosque together as Muslims and also to cooperate to what's useful for them in their religion and in their life matters. So in the 60s, the previous king, Budwan, he gave to King Faisal part of the permanent museum in Bruxelles in one of the most beautiful location, a few meters from the European Union and the Council, to be a mosque and a headquarter for the Islamic Center. And here start the journey to organize the Muslims affair. Here the Muslims, they have great history and also the government recognized the Islamic religion in the 60s and the country recognized Islam in 1974, the year I was born. They recognized Islam as a religion, an official religion in the country, and this is a turning point for the countries to deal with the Muslims in Europe. So Belgium in 1975, they included Islamic lessons within schools for Muslim students, and that increased the responsibilities of the Muslim Center at that time. It was the official representative for the Muslim people, and King Khalid from Saudi Arabia He opened the center after renovation in order to be suitable to be a big mosque for Muslims. Also, the Islamic countries, ambassadors, and Arabic countries, they were members in the managing council for this center since the start. And in 1982, the World Muslim Countries League Union, they start to over supervise it, and they developed the activities, and they opened the first European Islamic Institute in 1983, and also they opened the first mosque or a prayer room in the airports in Belgium in 1986. So after recognizing the Islam as a religion and to have Islamic studies lessons within the educational schools and within the Islamic government, with the government schools, there was an importance to have teachers to supervise the education of the Muslim students. So here, the center needed to organize formative lessons or to educate teachers for Islamic studies. The Islamic Center, supervised these matters, and they were negotiating with the governmental entities in Belgium. After that, in 1992, we formed the Muslim Council. They said we want to establish a council where the people are elected, and they established the Elder People Council to prepare for the election, the Executive Council, where they organized the first election for Muslims in Belgium in 1998. Was the first election to be organized within the between the Muslim people. So, dear brothers, the history of Muslims in Belgium is very nice, and also Islam is witnessing a lot of popularity. People are joining it by the Belgian people, and also different people who are living there. Every day, we receive people who join it, and this is a big grace that show how the Muslims, they are integrated in the community. And now the Muslims here in Belgium at the start of the 60s and the 70s, most of the Muslims from North Africa, Turkey and Albania, but recently they came because of the wars in the different countries from all over the world, and now we start to witness big number of people from Iraq, from Palestine, Syria, and other countries. They came to Belgium. The number of Muslims, it's increasing, And so Muslims need to organize their affairs and to integrate well in the community. After new members on the executive council was elected, it's continued to work since 2004, 2005, and in the 1998, I was participating. In the first one was organized by the country to represent the Muslims and to look after their affairs. It was a big challenge at the beginning to have to find a way to look after the Muslim affairs and interests, and also to have a democratic system where it represents the Muslims with their different parties and race and ethnicities. Also, brothers and sisters, in 2005, there was a new election under supervision from the parliament, the Belgian parliament, and I also participated in this elections. It was very successful, and there was 68 members from all over Belgium, from different ethnicities and parties. We worked very hard on different portfolios and files to recognize the mosque as worshipping places, and also recognizing the imams in order to be recompensated and to have salaries from the government. So there was a big recognition for the mosques and also for imams. Also, there was organization for lessons to have teachers, and now we work hard to have a center for imams in the future in order to do their duties in the community in the European field. The Muslims who are living here, most of them, they are immigrants. They immigrated and they got the residency from Morocco, Turkey, Iran, Albania, and also from the previous Yugoslavian countries. And this is a big challenge to have a unified, cooperating people. So we are facing this challenge. Everyone wants to maintain his culture, his language, and this is a big challenge in order to have all Muslims united under one field. Our vision for the mosque to be just for worshipping Allah, and also to unite together the Muslims, not to be related to any entities, political entities or diplomatic entities, is or any other thing. Muslims, mosques only for worshipping Allah and to look after the Islamic affairs for Muslims, and not to be part of the conflicts that's happening in the world, because that will be a reason to have conflicts between Muslims. In 2005, there was a council formed, and I was elected to head this council as an executive entity for Muslims here. We try to form similar committees for education, for mosques, for imams, and other ones for dialogue, and one for renewing the new structure in order to represent the Muslims. In 2023, there was a recognition for a new council, which is the Islamic Belgian Council. This council, it is responsible for new elections to elect people who is representing Muslims in Belgium. And there is great challenges with the coming elections. At the end of May, there will be elections, general elections for the parliament in order to have a new government according to the different parties who win and dealing with the Muslims. If we have parties who are moderate, they deal easier with Muslims. And for that, for Muslims, they need to be very keen to participate in the Belgium communities with all their effort in order to present their existence and to participate fully in the community. You, as a Muslim Belgian, you need to have a positive role in the community. You love this country and you show your honesty to deal with the community that you are living at. So we understand that Muslims, the immigrants who come to this country, they have their culture, and this is normal. But also, as a Muslim living here, you should not confuse all of these things together. The Muslims, when they go to pilgrimage, they come from all over the world and they pray in one mosque and after one Imam. And when we are here, we notice some Muslims, they try to mix with their original people. We find Muslims for Turkeys, mosques for Arabs, and in the future, this should not be the situation. The mosques should gather Arab and non-Arab with all the parties, and Muslims need to be cooperative brothers. They should come together to pray and to worship Allah and to get away any conflicts. So there is different challenges. That's regarding the history. Now, mashallah, we have other challenges. For example, with some strict parties, we face some parties, they ask mosques or imams to recognize to what's called the matters which is not accepted by the religion. For that, the Muslim need to be wise how to deal with these issues. Also, some other parties they call in order to not to recognize the Islam as a religion. But the government, they have different opinions and they are moderate toward the community. So we have a trust on the wise people, on the governments, which they are doing their best to maintain the rights of minorities, especially in the communities. For that, we as Muslims in this country, we need to work hard to organize our matters, to cooperate together, and to cooperate with the other religions here in Belgium. They have their word, they have their weight. Like we have here Jewish community, maybe sometimes we disagree with them, like what's happening in Palestine or in the Middle East. But we agree with them as religion and people about recognizing the religion locations, mosques, and also some parties they ask for khitan to be prohibited and halal food to be not allowed. So also the Jews, they have the kosher, they have their own product, which is suitable for them and for Muslims. So there is common interest. We can cooperate with the other religions, Jews, Christians, who look after or who pay attention to the religion and worshiping God, worshiping Allah. For that, we need to cooperate with all the wise people and to work for the interest of the community in general. For that, we find the Muslims and Muslims sons, they work in the community. When you go to the hospital, you find the Muslim doctors, or even when you go to the management, you will find someone who can speak Arabic language to be a Muslim. And we are proud of that, even in the politics or even in the parliament. We have ministers in Brussels or other areas, head of municipalities. We have Muslims who are very proud of their religion and they are doing their national duty in the community. They are serving all the people. And this is the real Islam. The Muslim benefit the people, all the people, Muslims or non-Muslims. So that make us as Muslims proud of these examples. And this is really our religion. We are to be example for the others in our behavior and in the way we deal with the laws or with the systems that in these countries, in a democratic country, every citizen, they can work here and they have their rights, but according to the laws and legislations here in the countries. So this is Islam in Belgium. We have now youth who are looking to know their religion. So for that, we need to have imams who can speak the language of the country and who understand the reality they are living at. We have imams, we have scholarships in the Arabic and Muslim Islamic world who would like to come to Europe, but they are not suitable to or for this community. We have the third and the fourth generation who can speak the language. Maybe they will not understand the Arabic language or the mentality. For that, we need to have imams who can speak the language and who can deal with the youth in order to work hard and to know their religion and to be moderate also. We have some of the students who are studying in the Belgium universities, and here there are thousands of them. So the Muslim, the young Muslim, he would like to know his religion. We need to organize all of these things. Many of the young people, they go to YouTube or social media, and maybe there will be people who will hunt them to join extremism or terrorism to exploit their illiteracy, and we need to protect these people, and we need to have a fiqh council to be a reference for those young youth, for the youth, to ask or to answer their questions. The fatwa on YouTube or in Google is widely spread, and maybe it will not fit the community that we are at. So for that, we need to have fiqh councils that can answer the Muslim questions for the people living in or Europe or Belgium, and to protect our religion and the interest of our world, in order to give a positive picture about this religion, this great religion. We would like to thank the people for their kind invitation to participate in these Ramadan lessons, and we pray to Allah to improve our affairs. And we would like to thank you very much for you, dear viewers, and also to thank the World Muslim Community Council, and to thank the United Arab Emirates. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.